Morning, everybody. Welcome to LOCPOD, Belgium's top-rated podcast. Season 7, Episode 4, with a full complement. Notorious LMP, Vesmar, Kevin Smith, and myself.
Good morning.
The OG team.
I was.
That's right. The OG team.
Yeah. Say that again?
The OG team.
Wow. You're right, Linz.
It is.
The original.
Yeah.
I was just looking at chat, by the way. Forite confuses me constantly, but I mean, I love Dr. Mike, but
Of course.
Who's Todd Crusher? He says, "Morning, Todd Crusher and crew."
Are you serious? Are you freaking serious?
That'd be a sick name, though.
You're so smart. Sometimes you're dumb.
What?
It's Todd Crusher.
Think about it, Kevin.
He crushes
Take a step backwards.
Oh, Linz. It's early.
I'm demoting you from senior advisor to
Junior advisor.
Associate.
Freshman
Holy
advisor.
Yeah.
That's a good
Todd
one, Forite.
Crusher.
All right, I take it back.
Kevin's like, who's Todd Crusher?
I was like, that's a pretty interesting name.
Like every day of my life, I think about Todd Young when I wake
Yes.
up, when I go to bed.
You're the Todd
Sometimes
Crusher.
when I sleep. So, like, if you say the word Todd to me, if somebody else is coincidentally named Todd, I don't like him. Right? No offense, Todd Connor. There's a lot of Todds I know out there.
Yeah, we were talking about
You know,
that.
Dad, I know a judge who can change your name to Todd Crusher if you're interested.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
name change. You get a little public
She's in
notice.
Poland. She's in Poland right now. So,
Well, she'll be back.
by the way, I have a thing against Todds, I think. No offense, Todd Connor, who is a
Todd
dear
Connor's
friend.
a good dude.
Todd Rikita.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Todd Young.
Wow.
Like, it's something about being GOP zealot.
Like in the late
named Todd.
60s, early 70s, we're going to name you Todd.
Yeah.
And you'll become
Something about
You're like
Todd,
born with a
man.
red tie on. I'm going to name him Todd.
And you will become the standard bearer.
You will
of
strip women of their reproductive rights. You will threaten to sue doctors, defame them. Yeah.
Hey, that would be a good
On and on.
TikTok.
What's
Yes.
Tom going to the courthouse and changing his name
To
for
Todd
one day.
Crusher.
To Todd Crusher.
Todd Crusher. That would be a good TikTok.
I mean, if that doesn't go viral.
We just have to have some lawyer draw up that motion.
Is there a way to, like,
Anyone looking?
change
Yeah,
your name for
we all,
24
like, look at
hours
Kevin.
only?
Well, you know
I
what?
don't think so.
I could
You could
just
change
go
it
in
back.
there and then I would have a judge say, no, you can't do that. It's a stupid name.
Yeah. Man, I don't
Right.
think they do that. I think they're like, okay, well,
If I was
going
going to change my name, I would just change it to a symbol, of course.
A symbol like
Like
Prince did.
Prince?
Yeah, like Prince.
Pie.
Yeah.
What would
A
it be?
I
politician
don't know.
formerly known
Like
as Tom
a-
McDermott.
Yeah, that would just be a symbol.
Politician.
I would be the first
Formerly
politician
known.
in Indiana state history to change his name to a symbol.
I wonder how they do that on the ballot. They're
I
like,
think
oh,
it'd
man.
be, your
It would be
symbol
some
should
cool
be,
ass symbol.
Your
Great.
symbol should be like a donkey in like a Red Dead shirt
Yeah,
That's cool.
with a
Yeah.
tattoo of a marijuana leaf or something like
on
that.
his ass. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
This is getting to be a complicated symbol.
It would
gonna
be,
be like-
but it would
pretty
be
simple.
The goal is to get people to want to vote for it. If you saw a donkey with a Grateful Dead shirt and a marijuana leaf tattooed on his
You're
ass,
going to be like, damn,
You'd be like,
this guy's cool.
I don't know who this is. I don't know what party he is, but I
This
like
is
this
the
dude.
weirdest
There's
My
something about
Little
this
Pony
dude.
I've ever seen.
I thought it was going to be a
strange ballot.
universal symbol, like pie.
I was
or
with you,
Pie?
John. I thought something a
Pie?
little more simple.
Yeah.
simple symbol.
No.
But like,
Let's go
I
with
am not
My
very good at
Little
math.
Donkey.
I mean, I'm decent at math, but if you're gonna have pi as your name, you got to be like a whiz. I'm just not a whiz.
Oh. You'd be like
I had like nightmares of my trigonometry classes, so I think
Yeah,
I can't.
let
roll
alone
My
with
name
calculus.
is Sintan.
Where is that coming
Just
from?
curves.
Oh,
That's
wow.
Is that upside down pi?
that's calculus
Oh,
Sintan.
and
All right.
trigonometry.
All right. See, I told you.
See,
to do that
obviously
well.
me
he wasn't
nightmares
paying
already.
attention.
That's what I'm saying. Why am I going to change it to pi?
Cosine.
All right, we're gonna have to work. We're gonna have to work on this if I'm going to change my
What
name
symbol?
to a symbol.
Period.
It should be something that's going to grab votes.
Ballots
Mine's
might
gonna
already
be
be printed.
semicolon.
How about-
Close.
Just something solid like Indiana flag.
Oh, Indiana flag. So you're always voting for Indiana?
Yeah.
It could be an
It's
emoji.
very Hoosier-esque.
How about
Dude, it's so funny.
How about like the cowboy
You
emoji?
just picture it on
you
a
can't
ballot.
pick Purdue or IU
No,
because you're
no.
alienating the other half of the
That's
state,
right.
so you can't roll like that.
Yeah, that's also copyrighted probably.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna have to work on this.
Symbol.
How about
well,
just submarine?
Shadow, I'm sure will
Just
come
a
up.
submarine.
Submarine?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, hey, dude, I did something dumb the other day, and it left me in a moral dilemma. I wanted to talk to you guys about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Ready?
so check this out. I go in and get my hair cut. By the way, look,
Yeah, I noticed the little new do. Fresh.
got
Oh,
got
that's
the fade
very
kicking,
fresh.
right?
Sharp.
And it looks good. And I go to my dude, and I'm like, getting my hair cut.
Freddie Fate. Freddie.
Yeah, dude, like dropping name.
Oh, well, he's been in here.
I know. Now he's gonna listen. He's gonna realize I made a mistake.
all right.
Like, well,
all right,
now
all
I
right.
can't
Moral
do the bit.
dilemma.
Well, I didn't know what was
It's
going to
like
happen.
you dropped his name.
I
Like, what
didn't
am I gonna do?
How do I know what you're
now
gonna
he's gonna
say?
listen. He's gonna know I wasn't a big baller.
I thought it was a positive.
Well, guess
No,
what?
dude,
Kevin
you just screwed the
solved
whole
your
thing up,
problem
all right,
man.
go ahead. I'm on a roll
No,
this
it's
morning,
like
obviously.
you know what, Kevin. Kids, Kevin wants to talk to you about Christmas also. Okay, so like, All right. So kids
I
would.
was just mentioning your bar. All right, go ahead. I want to hear this.
It's another barber. He was cheating on Freddie.
All right,
I was
fair
cheating
enough.
on Freddie.
Fair enough.
Just stop saying his name. Like, goddamn, how many times? All right. So anyway, I'm in there and like.
Where?
In
Where?
this imaginary freaking barbershop, okay?
All right, all
and there's
right.
a bunch of people. It's in Hammond, and everybody knows I'm there, right? And I'm like talking and interacting, and I had to wait like 10 minutes for my haircut, and then finally I go up and get my haircut, and I'm talking. Everybody's bullshitting, ha 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 ha, right? And then it comes done, and it's like $38 or something like that,
Sure.
right? So I take a 50 out of my wallet, I hand it to Freddie, and I'm just like, bam,
Nice of you.
keep the change, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Appropriate tip.
boom, like looking at everybody like, big baller right here, right? And
For a
everybody's like,
$12 tip?
yeah, man. Like $12
Really?
tip. That's like 30%, bro. So anyway, I'm walking out like, they're like applauding
yeah,
as I
sure.
walk out. I'm
I
like,
didn't know people
That
like
totally
looked around
happened.
and
they do. They
you
do.
looked around for.
I'm just imagining
appreciation.
this,
Okay,
but this
all
is
right,
sort of like
that's
what's
right.
going on in my
All right.
mind.
This is what it's like in his brain all the time.
This is what it's like in my brain.
Did
I'm
everybody
walking out,
see me give this tip?
They're carrying me out. I'm like flexing
good
on the way
person.
out. Like, did you see that tip? So I get down the street and I'm going for some food. They're one of my favorites. And I'm like,
B-dubs.
I go to
El
my
Taco
wallet.
Royale.
I go to my wallet
Parmesan.
and I'm like, where the fuck is my other $50? Right?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, they were brand new from the
Oh.
bank and they were stuck together.
Oh.
And
No
I'm
wonder
like,
why everyone was clapping.
Yeah.
That guy
Yeah.
got a $62
Well,
tip.
you
Yeah.
can't, you can't go. You can't
Nice
go
for
back.
him.
so I'm like,
You can't go
I
back.
can't eat a burger. I don't have no money. I gave him all my money,
You
right?
cannot go back.
So
don't
like
have
I'm in a
credit?
dilemma. Do I go back
No.
and say, "Hey, dude, I gave you $50 too much"?
Cannot do that.
Absolutely
no,
not.
he deserves it.
It's over.
Yep.
No, you cannot. Go
You
back.
lost that 50.
Could you imagine going back in and asking that?
No.
Hey,
Yeah.
excuse,
Hey, all that
excuse
applause you were
me,
giving me.
Excuse me. I think I gave you an extra 50. And
Yeah.
I look at you like.
Could we take those applause back? The accolades
Well, not only
we were
that-
throwing at you.
Not only that, okay, like it's one thing if like I don't know, me or John did that, right? Maybe we go back in, they're like, who's this loser, right? That asked for his $50 back. But if you go back and they're
Yeah,
like, the
totally.
mayor's a cheap ass. It's up on Facebook like
Oh,
within
yeah.
like 10 minutes.
You would lose the election over that.
All right, I did the right thing.
You did. Well, you
I ate
lost $50, but
I was hungry,
you're a bigger baller than even you thought in your mind,
dude. I
when
was
you walked out.
huge when I
After a-
walked out.
Well,
No
that's
wonder
why
they were
everybody
applauding.
A
applauded.
$62, a $12 tip became a $62 tip
That's right.
instantaneously.
Good
That's
for
right.
him. He deserves it.
Great job,
That's
Freddie.
right. That's right.
You deserve.
By the way, Freddie's the best. So it's not. It was just a funny little dilemma I found myself in.
Well,
You
did-
bought him
made the right
gas for
decision.
his
it's
little
like I only meant
car.
to tip you 30%, not the 100%.
No,
Right?
that was like
1,000%.
that was like
Yeah.
230%.
Good call, Lindsay, Miss Math Whiz over there.
She's all over it. Sintan.
She's never been
230%.
particularly strong at math either.
It's called nursing.
Is it a
man.
200%
I'm
tip?
really
It is a
Isn't it like
200% tip, yeah.
What?
Huh. So anyway,
because
it is
$38.
$38, man.
times two.
Math
is
is hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
62.
62.
Hey,
Not
Kevin.
Quite.
More
Kevin.
than 1,000.
Hey, John. Do we have any
Less
other
than
sounds on the
1,000.
soundboard?
No.
Could I give you a solid sound that we need for the next show?
Yeah.
I was thinking about the most important sound
Okay.
because we have one sound. It's
Newsflash
breaking
is
news,
important.
right? And I have a feeling the newsflash will be used.
Oh, many times.
So anyway, I think the next we have to agree on the next sound because
Okay.
we have limited spaces. I think the banjo is huge.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Got to have the banjo.
All right, we all agree,
I'm
Lindsay.
texting this to Kyle right now.
And
Why
then
do
can
we
we?
need a
What do you think?
The
that-
banjo because we have those stories that come up that are just like, and then we can play the banjo.
Yep. And we
a good
have to
idea.
have crickets. For sure.
Crickets for sure.
Okay,
What about for the crime of ignorance? That'd be nice to have a sound for that.
I don't know,
All right, we'll think about that.
but crickets are huge, and the
Huge.
banjo is
Agreed.
huge. Like, and then newsflash comes on every couple shows at least.
Agreed.
All right. So we all agree on that.
I like that. Speaking of cool things, John.
Yeah. Speaking of a lack of work being put into our show,
We
Yes.
oh, geez.
I got
Here
your
we go.
back, John.
John, I
Don't
see
worry.
the worm is turned towards
We're
you
going
now.
to war.
yeah, John.
I think
My
like
favorite
chances
Trump
are
supporter.
I quit in the next 2 minutes. What's the
Well,
over?
no.
So-
You know, it's sort of depressing when members of the general public are doing more work on LOCPOD than members of LOCPOD. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Wow. So I was checking. I was checking the we get messages, direct messages, and stuff once in a while, and a listener and fan named Greg B.
Greg B.
Texted this
Wait,
message
like
to
Greg
us.
B. Period.
Well, no, I mean,
Oh,
We're
his
not
full
going to
name
put
is
his
up there.
full name.
so
Okay. Well, why not? He's probably going to be the producer next week.
we'll
Let's be
introduce,
honest.
Greg
we'll
B.
introduce him then. But anyway, he sent along this pretty cool like intro for the show, and I thought we'd play it because it was kind of neat. So
Let's check
John, check it out.
Yeah, let me take my time here and pull this up.
I see you're all over it.
All right.
All right, here we go. I love that last.
Honestly, it took my breath away.
Basically, I mean, I like it because
got
I'm the only
pretty
one
hyped.
that's really
Well, that's what I was
going
going to ask
I
Greg.
know,
I was
I
like,
was
thanks
like-
a lot for me and
I mean,
Lindsay and
yeah, what
John. Right? Like,
Where am I?
let's just
So first off, this is an audio show for most of our audience. There was a LOCPOD commercial that was playing really flashy graphics and everything, and it focused on me a lot, like
Only.
98% of the time, and I appreciate that. I mean, I'm a big fan of this video.
It actually ended with like a fade to a picture of Tom.
Right,
Like
not even
that-
the group.
You know what,
No,
Kevin?
just
I
Tom.
think this just
Yeah.
calls for all of us to get really nice headshots so that they're out
Yeah.
there and people can utilize
Yeah.
them.
There
Good
you go.
call, Lindsay. Good
Dad's
call.
not invited. We're all getting some glamour shots.
You know, I mean, not every band's got,
I've
you
never
can't
had
like,
a glamour shot.
every band's got to have Ringo guys, okay?
Yes.
Are you calling all of us?
that?
Ringo?
Yeah,
Who's Ringo?
you guys are Ringo.
All
I
of us,
mean,
the
don't
whole
we
group?
agree?
Paul McCartney?
You guys are, you guys are Ringo and
Well, I mean, you are the baller tipper by mistake.
the
so, I mean,
baller tipper, huge tipper. I rolled
the inadvertent
300%.
baller tipper.
The day
That was-
tipper.
I felt like such a dumbass. But by the way, I had such a good day in the stock market that day. I justified
Oh,
it
look
in my
at you.
brain.
You're
In
just
my
like, that's
brain,
just
that was
giving
the
some
day.
back.
That was the day the market was down 4%.
Giving some back.
I'm a parasite.
All right.
Kevin's like, let's move on.
Oh, hey, by the way, before we forget, I saw you gave
Yes.
this nice little.
I married two friends of mine this
Cookie.
weekend. Tony and Nancy Hopprich now. Nancy Kowalski before, but Tony and Nancy got married on Sunday, and I married them, which is nice.
Nice
Under the
cookies.
state of Indiana, I have the ability to marry people within the state of Indiana, and I did that. And
They've been
performed
together
your,
for
your
a while.
Statutory duty.
they've been together for, I think, 12 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, they've
a long
they have,
courtship.
yeah, they have a house together, and it was really nice. We went to a lighthouse in Cedar Lake, right off the lake. It was really pretty.
Congrats, Nancy and Tony.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's
Those
do
are
some ads.
cookies?
Those are
Those
cookies.
are
Here,
cookies.
John. You want
No,
it?
try
or-
it on the air. I want to.
I'm good.
People want to know how they are. They're talking.
I'm pretty sure
I
there's
will.
a
I mean, I
cookie
don't have a
like
problem.
flyer that Dr. Mike brought in where you have to like sit down for 7
Oh,
hours
that's
to
right.
burn it out.
I think
Don't
there
do
is a
it.
cookie on that flyer.
Don't do it.
There's
Yeah.
definitely. a
It'll take
cookie.
me 4 hours of sitting on my ass to work that cookie off.
So we're not eating it.
Or light jogging.
We got a lot to
for
talk about today.
200 minutes.
We've got, of course, a Senate update. We're going to talk about a community issue that's coming up today that mayors, very interesting to me at least. So we're going to talk about that right after ads.
Lindsay, go ahead and start.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. We are dedicated to assisting our clients with their systems integration needs. Tri Electronics has the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 1-800-722-6793.
Dude. Hashtag Todd Crusher's like trending.
Love it.
We have to get that going.
That was
See?
Mike Foray, huh?
Yeah,
Hashtag
Foray.
Todd Crusher.
This
Who's
retirement
Todd?
thing.
Hashtag Who's Todd is trending too. Freaking
That's a
dumb.
good thing. You know what?
Hashtag
That
Who's
means-
Todd
That means
Crusher.
his. That means he's got low name ID. I like that.
Social media. Can you guys get like for the campaign? Can you get that going on Twitter, please?
Yes, like the new
Both of
T-shirt.
those
Hashtag
hashtags.
Crusher.
Todd Crusher.
Hashtag Who's Todd Crusher.
I'm going to put those on Twitter right now.
My
Cool.
junior campaign advisor. Powering America. The Lake County Electricians Training Center is seeking applications for the Electrical Apprenticeship Program. If you're a person who enjoys working with your hands in a challenging and ever-changing environment, the Electrical Apprenticeship might be for you. This apprenticeship opportunity provides tuition-free education along with paid on-the-job training. Successful applicants will be looking to make long-term commitments to their new careers. To learn more about the apprenticeship programs, please visit apply697.com. That's apply697.com.
Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing, sign solutions, metal business cards, calorie counting cards, etc. Rick Baltonsberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and Hammond. And by the way, I was talking to Rick. I think he's getting ready to expand his footprint.
Nice.
So we're looking forward to that
Whoa.
announcement too. Yeah, pretty cool. So good
You
luck,
just
Rick.
announced it.
Well, I mean, it's not
No
a form.
pressure,
I'm
Rick.
just saying it's just, it's out there. Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Maybe he'll go further down the same street and open.
You never know.
I bet you if I said, "Hey Rick, who's Todd?" He'd be like, "Todd Young." I'd be like, "Yeah, I knew that."
Todd Crusher.
Hashtag.
Do you know a guy named Todd Crusher?
Who's
That'd
Todd Crusher?
Yes.
Todd Crusher.
All right.
All right.
We welcome you to try Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer brewed for those who understand that it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Containing only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and 4.2 alcohol by volume, Michelob Ultra is a light lager brewed with the perfect balance of hops and wholesome grains, producing a light citrus aroma and a crisp, refreshing finish. Check our social media for details on this great family of beers and enjoy the Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly. That's for Calumet Brewing.
It's
Thank
only
you,
worth
Lindsay.
it if you enjoy it.
Dad, why are you waving your paper at me?
I was gonna let Vez know we got our title today.
Oh,
only worth it if
Todd
you
Todd
enjoy it.
Crusher.
Should be
Todd Crusher.
Who's Todd?
Who is Todd Crusher?
Todd Crusher, I think, is better. Right, whatever. John always does the titles, so
Kyle and John. Not really, but that's okay.
Remember the season 6 finale title?
yeah, I remember
Yes.
that one. Yeah, who did that one?
It was a group effort.
That was not
Kevin
this-
and I.
Yeah,
What?
I ran it by you.
No, you didn't.
John's title to the last season 6 finale. That was the last show that anybody
So
saw
it
for
stood
like
there-
2
it
months.
sat there
It's
for
the top
2
of the list. It
months.
was go fuck yourself. It was with at least he got rid of the you, right?
With Mayor Styron.
Yeah, I'm sure she appreciated that. It's like-
She may have.
She's like, I was on LOCPOD. Which episode? Oh, go fuck yourself. Yeah, that's the title.
Season 6, last episode.
Yeah,
But I put
right.
an asterisk in there in one of the
That's
vowels.
good. Yeah, I was. It was puzzling what word that was standing for. So,
You're like, what word is this?
hey, today I got a reporter that's going to be trailing me for 4 hours.
Whoa.
I'm going to take her.
Better be on your best
from
behavior.
the Indianapolis Star. She's coming up to visit. I'm driving her around. I'm taking the Shelby. So
Maybe you can
I got to look cool.
Maybe you could just throw $50 bills out the window on your way.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna every time I
You're
tip
just apparently
today,
doing-
it's gonna be like 300%. So like, I'm gonna try to keep the bills low. Like,
Tom's going to ask her to borrow money for lunch.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
apparently gave my cash accidentally.
I do tip well, by the way. I do tip well.
Always good to be a good tipper.
I'm always a good tipper.
Well,
but like,
and
I don't throw $200 tips around. You know?
I think it's. I mean, people are.
By the way,
you're
Freddie,
a known commodity
I'm not
around
begging
here.
for my money back. I just want to
I'm
make this
surprised
clear.
Freddie isn't like
Everybody-
walk in and say,
Freddie's
"Here-
like, God
here's your
damn.
effing $50 back
Yeah,
there."
stop talking about
Stop
me.
bitching about the $50.
Well,
you gave
nobody
me.
would have known his name if it wasn't for you. We were just anonymously talking. It could have been anybody.
Joe
It was like, who, Freddie? Freddie Fades?
I was trying to remind everybody what a great barber Freddie is. Not that he
Kids.
needs me
He's
to remind
excellent.
everybody.
Kevin Smith wants to talk to you about Christmas. So
Oh, please.
Bro, Chad
I mean,
is
look at
saying
that.
tip crusher.
Tip crusher. That's great.
that's right. That's how I roll, baby. 200%. That's how you throw, you know?
This is getting out of control.
All right. So anyway, so the Indianapolis Star, Caitlin Lang is visiting me today. We're driving around the city of Hammond, showing her around. I know I'm stopping by like the police department. I usually do similar tours because I do these a lot. And then I did something interesting, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight we have a community meeting about a decision I made that's controversial, and I invited her to go to that meeting.
I like that.
I like it too because honestly, I'm probably going to get my ass kicked at this meeting.
We'll see. I don't know about that. I hope not, but I think it's a good.
It's a possibility I get my ass kicked. At this
Well,
meeting,
I think
right.
Sure. I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
And-
any
and I'm
community meeting,
inviting-
there's always the
I'm
possibility.
inviting a statewide reporter that's here to look at me and to look at how I interact with the public. And I'm like, hey, why don't you check this out? Because like Todd Young doesn't have meetings like this. Todd
It's
Young
definitely
doesn't walk.
reality TV.
Yeah, he doesn't walk into a room unless he knows everybody's going to be on their best behavior and ask him like easy softball questions. You know,
We're not videotaping,
And even
today.
then, he tells them to
we
turn the
aren't
camera
video-
off.
Yeah,
Royal
right. We aren't videotaping this
today.
Who's we?
Sorry,
sir?
sir. I didn't mean to hurt your delicate feelings, Senator. Because I wanted to tape my U.S. Senator. My bad, right? We have these things called phones. Everybody tapes now.
We aren't taping. We aren't
Yeah.
videotaping.
We
this.
will do selfies, though.
You can stick
Love
that
selfies.
camera up your ass because we're not videotaping.
We
today.
decided we're not
You
taping
want a
this.
colonoscopy today?
Yeah, right. So anyway,
I do like that idea.
good.
What?
'Cause, I mean,
put a
it's
camera
since
up
it's too
above?
late.
No. I think it's. I mean,
Wouldn't
seeing,
it be embarrassing if I told her, "Oh, the meeting's not happening"? Sorry.
Sorry.
Or I'm sorry.
We aren't going to this
We
meeting.
decided that was a
you're
bad
not-
meeting.
We decided that you're not going to this
Yeah,
meeting.
we decided that I don't want to look like crap.
Yeah,
in
we
front
don't
of
want you to see what I really do as mayor.
I'll be honest with you. I hope. I mean, if I do get attacked, I don't mind.
Well, I mean, I think
I'm
it's
not
gonna
telling
be
people to attack me. I'd rather have
verbally.
you laud me and
Yes.
throw flowers at me, okay?
Well, I mean, I think
that would be ideal.
It's an issue that definitely, gets people emotional about and in the community, and they want to talk about it.
So
it's a good
What's this
thing.
meeting?
So I had a situation. We haven't talked about it on LOCPOD yet, but it's a big situation as mayor. So basically I'm mayor and I'm moonlighting as a candidate for U.S. Senate. It's a hard balance sometimes. Sometimes things on one side or the other get messed up, and I'm trying to make up for it on the other side. So in this situation, about 3 years ago, I partnered with the 3rd District Council person. It was Anthony Higgs at the time and Barry Tyler, who ended up succeeding Anthony Higgs in that position. And we teamed up together to do $5 million renovation of Martin Luther King Park.
And it's beautiful.
I have to say, I haven't seen a nicer Martin Luther King Park anywhere.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Well,
it's gorgeous.
walking trail with pedestals of sayings or quotes from Martin Luther King, Dr. King.
Eternal Flame.
Eternal Flame.
with like a memorial area,
New splash pad.
new playgrounds,
new
senior
exercise
work
equipment
for senior citizens,
Yeah.
right off the walking path, outdoor stuff,
And by the way, this is in City Hall's backyard.
and new basketball courts.
Really nice basketball courts.
2 full courts, and then another full court, but it's set up as 2 half courts.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 3 courts of basketball. One of them is half court only, and then a whole separate playing area. It's a basketball tree,
Which is kind of cool, too.
which is like multiple basketball hoops at different heights. So
Yeah.
there's be one at 4 feet. There's one at 12 feet.
Yep.
There's one at 8 feet. It's all different, and it's a tree. It's a
just
circle.
for messing around.
So you could just sit there. Little kids could just play around on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we did this on purpose because we wanted it to be Dr. King Park. I mean, it was Dr. King Park, but there was no quotes from Dr. King.
Well, I think over and over you said, I want this to be an appropriate dedication to Martin Luther King, because before
story.
this you said all we've got is this little plaque down on this one end of
It
the
was
park.
it was called Dr. Martin Luther King Park, and there was one small little plaque on the extreme end of the park close to all the traffic that hardly anybody would ever see.
Right.
Like when I say that 99% of the people probably didn't know it existed.
99 plus, I would
Right.
say, didn't know.
There was
it
a
was
few
there.
people that did, like government people like myself, the council people, and stuff like that. So we said we want this to be Dr. King Park. We want it to be prominent.
And by the way, that's where the MLK parade, or I'm sorry, candlelight vigil.
Yeah.
What do we call it? Candlelight vigil, or
Kicks off.
Kicks off every day, every
At
year.
the Eternal Flame.
Yeah.
Okay, so we intentionally spend a lot of money on Dr. Martin Luther King Park, which is adjacent to City Hall. Literally, I see it every day of my life when I
the
drive
backyard.
to work. It's my backyard.
It is the backyard.
It is a gorgeous park, and it's extremely successful since we've opened it. It's jam-packed. The splash pad, jam-packed. The Memorial Park is obviously people will hang out in there, and you'll see people reading in there. It's
Taking
super,
pictures a lot. I've seen
super pretty,
pictures.
Eternal Flame. It's the walking paths in high demand always. People working out. The seniors love their outdoor equipment, but the basketball courts are jam-packed with kids.
All summer.
Jam-packed all summer long. Like it's exactly what we wanted in Dr. King Park. Okay, is jam-packed activity, appropriate memorials to Dr. King, just a beautiful park, and it's like a great reflection on a diverse community, and which is everything Dr. Martin Luther King wanted, right?
Yeah, peaceful protest, all that stuff. It's all there.
So anyway, we've been having trouble lately. It's been getting too crowded, and a lot of people in the neighborhood would tell you it's not Hammond kids that are causing this problem, but that doesn't matter to me. But this place is extremely successful as far as we wanted to make it crowded. We wanted people to enjoy the park. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things you said before was we had an underutilized park with a pool that wasn't used, and you said we got to transform this, and
We
you
did. Mm-hmm. So about 2 weeks ago, we have a situation, and we've been having fights there and police calls, and it's been getting rough, and it's crowded, and there's I'll drive by and there'll be all 3 courts are going full steam. We'd have multiple teams waiting, tons of people watching. There could be 150, 200 people surrounding the courts on a typical weekend day.
It's like that popular place in town where you go to get a really good basketball game.
Right. Or just hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Or
and watch the games.
Right.
Yeah.
Or just do whatever. Walk around. Go to the splash pad. If it's 100 degrees out, go across the street and cool off, and then come back over and watch the game, right? So obviously everything's going great until lately we started having more and more violence take place there. Mm-hmm. Starts with fights, police calls, multiple fights. And then we had a situation a couple weeks ago on a Thursday where there was 2 teenagers shooting guns at each other in front of everybody. It's a jam-packed court, and it's a miracle that the only 2 people that were hurt were the 2 15-year-olds. They were both injured, taken to the hospital. They're both going to make it. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's on a Thursday, and that's jarring. And, obviously...
15-year-olds.
Right. And by the way, this is over a basketball dispute. And it was reported that one of them was wearing the gun while they were playing basketball.
Think about that.
And other people knew this.
And they
people
didn't stop.
knew, and nobody says anything to us.
I'll play basketball with you.
Oh, okay. He's got a, he's got a Glock.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's normal basketball attire.
Yeah.
But nobody says anything. Nobody alerts the authorities. And surprise, surprise, it results in a shooting. And 2 people get hurt. Obviously, I speak with the police chief every day. We all do. We have a group text where we talk about violent crime. And it's unfortunately every day we're usually talking to each other. And we're like, hey, we need to step up patrols. It's getting real busy over there. I see it. And then I actually got in an argument with some of the police brass that day, if you remember correctly.
I do.
Because I see this park every day. It's like, don't BS me, guys. I drive by this park. You don't drive by that park every day. I do. This is where I work. And I'm like, you guys aren't doing a good enough job, police presence-wise, right? This is on Thursday. We step up police presence. Boom. Fridays, crowded as hell. Saturday, now, heavy police presence on this day. In fact, there's a police car right by the court, driving by it, when 2 adults get into a gunfight with each other. Well, actually, one adult takes a gun out and kills another adult.
Who did not have a gun.
Like a 40-year-old shooting a 39-year-old kills him on the courts.
Right there.
Yeah, in front of everybody.
In front of a bunch of 10-year-olds.
In front of everybody.
Yeah.
And now, granted, this is about harassment, basically. The victim, in this case, that got killed, was allegedly messing with a kid and talking crap, and the kid was talking crap.
Bring
it was
your gun out and kill him.
Yeah, so the dad gets pissed, gets a gun, kills him in front of everybody.
That is a indictment of current America.
So
that's how you resolve disputes.
I sat on it for 24 hours. First off, I was like, shut the courts down, and we put barricades up on the first day, and I was just like, we got to cool the temperature down. Like, it's getting hot. There's people running with guns. There's people shooting each other. Nobody gets hurt on Thursday. Friday, we still got a little tense situation. Saturday, a person gets killed. On Sunday, I ordered the park department to pull the rims off all the basketball hoops, and it's shut down indefinitely. And we shared this on social media, and I had a feeling it might be somewhat controversial, but I don't care, because in situations like this, public safety is my number one job, and this is a dangerous situation. And I pulled the rims down, and I was asked how long. I said indefinitely.
Yeah.
That's still where I am, I'll be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I think one of the important things to point out is that it's a consistent policy that you've done in other parks
Could you explain that?
Sure. There was a couple of months ago, and we had a significant vandalism and graffiti problem up at a skate park on the north part of Hammond at Pulaski Park, and formerly known as Douglas Park. And the mayor decided, hey, put a fence around the skate park. We're shutting it down. This is BS. Kids aren't respecting the park. Until we get this under control, it's shut down.
Yep.
And
we opened about a month later, and we haven't had any graffiti or incidents since then. And by the way, another thing that we've learned in North Hammond is the neighbors are watching the park closer. They're working closer with the police department, who's watching the park closer. I sort of woke everybody up that if I'm going to shut down this park over vandalism.
And people were pissed about that too, by the way.
Hell yeah, they were pissed about that. They were blaming me.
Yeah.
It's not our kids doing it. It's a bunch of kids coming from Illinois. I hear this a lot. It's never our kids. Our kids are angels, right?
Right.
It's all these other evil kids from Illinois and from other cities that come in. And so I took some heat on that in North Hammond. And we did open it about a month later, and everything's been going great. And I think the neighbors believe me that if we keep having these problems, I'm taking the goddamn skateboard park and moving it to another part of the city. I think they believe me. And I'm serious about that.
I guess the question I have for people then that are complaining about the basketball courts would be like, do you want the mayor not to do something when there's a shooting, but yes, do something to the park when there's graffiti?
The worst thing...
there was a shooting. Someone got killed. Let's just leave it open.
That's the worst thing we could do, is become numb to the fact that people are blowing each other away. People are playing basketball with Glocks in their waistband. Mm-hmm. That's completely unacceptable. And it's not going to happen behind City Hall, and it's not going to happen in Dr. Martin Luther King Park. It's not. So I'm still, people expect me to go and say I'm opening the basketball courts. I have a deal. I mean, bad news. That's not happening. I'm not there. I don't think we could do it safely. I think that it's actually way too popular. And there's way too many people coming, not just from Hammond, from multiple communities. And people, unfortunately, in the modern day and age, there's a lot of weapons, unfortunately.
Well, let's talk about that real quick, Mayor, because I know people would say well, why don't you just prohibit guns in the park? Why don't you just ask him for...
Well, go ahead and say this.
So, there's...
You're asking the leading question, so go ahead and finish it.
Yeah, I mean, we know this, right? That about 7-8 years ago, maybe it was more, 10 years ago, you had a big fight with the NRA and with a lawyer named Guy Relaford.
Well, the Indiana legislature.
Yeah, but the Indiana legislature put in a law that said you can't prohibit, local communities cannot prohibit guns in parks.
Right.
You can bring guns
So
to
think
parks.
about it. You could bring a gun to a Little League game. The city has no business saying, we have no legal right in Indiana to say, you can't bring a gun to Optimus Park to watch a baseball game. You could bring your Uzi. You could bring your military-style assault weapon. I can't touch that. Why? So people get mad when this person busts a gun out and kills somebody in a park, and people are like, Mayor, what are you doing about this? And it's like, they could bring their gun there. They could buy that gun without background checks because our legislature keeps making it easier and easier. Mm-hmm. I can't even regulate that.
Like the police were saying, they couldn't even go up to the 15-year-old and ask them, or whatever, I guess it needs to be an adult, 18-year-old, and say, hey, do you have a permit for that gun?
Nope,
Not as of July 1st.
How about
Don't
this?
need a permit.
So naturally, going back to MLK, naturally people are like, well, you need to put more police there. Keep the basketball courts open. Just park about 5 officers in the park every day.
That sounds smart.
First off, dumb use of manpower.
Oh.
Secondly, on the shooting that resulted in a fatality, there was a police car that drove by 15 seconds before this was shot.
And yet the people that
literally,
were
we
arguing,
have it on camera, John. Wow. The officer literally drove by and heard the gunshots. They didn't care. There was a cop right there. They
could have asked him for assistance. Hey, officer, can you help? This
right. This guy was punching my kid. This guy is, and then the officer would have done his job. Instead, he's like, I'm going to take care of this myself. Mm-hmm. Kills him, traumatizes everybody at the basketball court, right?
Yeah.
Disgraces Martin Luther King Park for the second time in 3 days.
And ruins his life.
And kills somebody.
Yeah,
and ruins his own life.
Sure.
By the way, father of multiple kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, anyway, there was an article locally. This is a big story locally. Obviously, the whole state's watching me right now because I'm running for U.S. Senate and I'm dealing with a tough episode in my city. Hammond officials are considering how to reduce gun violence following this month's shooting at Martin Luther King Park. Police say Julius Brooks, 39, was shot to death at the park's basketball courts on August 13th, just 2 days after another shooting left 2 people injured. Mayor Tom McDermott told the city council on Monday that the courts will remain closed for a while. I didn't have a choice. It's a dangerous situation. It's a jam-packed park, and I love the fact that it's jam-packed. We spent money to make it jam-packed. So the fact that people are getting killed at Dr. Martin Luther King Park is not a great situation at all, McDermott said. But Brooks' aunt, Hope Brooks Comer, said the closure came too late for her nephew. The first shooting happened on a Thursday. 2 people were shot. Then they had a shootout on Friday. Nobody got shot, thank God. But then on Saturday, they took my nephew's life, and he was 39 years old, she said.
Yeah, it's sad.
She said she'd like to see more security at the park before the courts reopen, but McDermott said a police officer had just been there moments before the shooting happened with no apparent deterrent effect.
There you have it.
So they're talking in this article about tonight's long-term. City officials will hold a community meeting next Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Ophelia Steen Center. One of our Councilwoman Katrina Alexander, this is her quote, "We know the situations and the problems that we have in our city, but we want to come up with solutions so that we can continue to thrive, that we can continue to have our parks open," Councilwoman Katrina said.
What's the point of this meeting? What is the
it's,
goal?
It's
try
more
to
like
community conversation. I
Yeah.
think.
About
I think that's
what?
a good way.
Don't shoot each other? I mean, we all know that.
community conversation is, first off, I want them to know where I am.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So
If
you're
I
invited to speak at this? Is it like a city
I think
thing?
we called it
Okay.
because we haven't talked publicly.
Unity in
other
the
than
community, I think I saw it.
So, I mean, I imagine the Ministerial Alliance will be there. Ministerial Alliance in Hammond, which is strong, and I have a great relationship with them. And I don't know if they back me on this or not, being honest. But I think that the fact that this is Dr. Martin Luther King Park is huge for me. It is like, this is the name of the park. It was named Dr. Martin Luther King Park before we built these basketball courts, okay, and renewed these basketball courts. And before it became a popular destination, it was named Dr. King. It was all about nonviolence, peaceful, and peaceful protests. We can't have shootouts in Martin Luther King Park 2 out of 3 days.
Has there been any troubles? Has there been any shootings since?
It is the most boring place. Like, when I drive by now, it's beautiful, pristine, quiet. I'll be honest with you. I like it better like this. And I think one more violent crime, and I'm tearing those courts out, Kevin. One more violent crime in Dr. Martin Luther King Park basketball courts, I'm tearing them down. I'll say I lost money by building these. I apologize to the city council, to the residents at Hammond. These are too popular, and unfortunately, the kids that are playing there and the adults that are playing there can't control themselves, and
I think it's a good idea to bring guns to a basketball game.
it's unacceptable. First off, we all have to, like happened in North Hammond, we all have to take charge of our own parks. If you see somebody with a damn gun in their waistband, you got to call the authorities.
Crazy.
Right?
It's
like, this is not normal behavior.
John,
we
I'm
can't
with you.
accept this.
Like, how are you somebody on that basketball court saying, "Hey, it's okay, you can play with that gun"?
Well, yeah, the guy's like,
there.
"Hey, you want to play?" You're like, "Nah, I'll skip that. I'm going to go on the other court where the guy's not wearing it." You know,
Right? And everyone's like, "All right, let's go."
Even just it drops
bizarre
out of the
to me.
waistband and goes like, I don't
Sure.
want to be near
Dude,
that.
I don't want to be
No kidding.
anywhere around that guy.
right? Yeah, so it's a tough situation.
It's sad, and I've seen since then. I've seen a squad parked on the grass sometimes in OK Park. That's sad.
That
the
is
fact
sad.
that we
I
have to
agree.
have that.
I don't want to have that.
No.
You know what? You don't have to have it right now because it's so quiet. And that's the way it should be, honestly. And by the way, we have outdoor basketball hoops in other parts of our city.
No problems.
No problems at all. No problems. I don't know what it is in this particular neighborhood. It might be just the fact that they're so nice. They are very nice. Okay? We did a good
Also,
job.
it draws more people.
Really,
and it
really
draws
nice.
draws people not just from our city, from multiple cities.
Glass
And-
backboards.
Yeah, man. It's
Unbelievable
super nice.
courts.
We did
They're
a good job.
beautiful.
And, but the thing is, unfortunately, if we're not able to maintain safety, and when I say we, it's the collective we. It's not the neighbors that live around that park because their
Everyone.
houses are catching bullets
As a
too.
community, we're all.
If
we're
I
all
lived
involved
across
in
the
this.
street from the park, I'd be like, dude, one of those bullets could come in my house.
Without a doubt.
I have a feeling the neighbors want that shut down. That's my feeling. Is like, hey, this is out of control. So tough situation.
All right, let's do some ads. We're going to come back.
But
and talk
isn't it brave though, inviting a reporter to that meeting?
so brave.
I'm serious.
is.
You're being
No,
sarcastic.
I mean,
What
I think
Todd
is
Young
that
would
they
never
wanna
do
see,
this.
They want to see. I think it's great that you're allowing a reporter to see what it's like to be mayor for a day.
Todd Young would never do this.
No, he won't even have a community meeting.
We aren't. I'm going to do that
unscripted.
today when we start. We aren't going to tape this meeting today because we don't want to look bad on the internet.
We're not videotaping.
Do
this
we
today.
all understand that?
Do you want to send me out and just make sure I say that to everybody?
Yeah.
we're not.
We-
We're not taping this today.
We decided we're not going to tape. If you want to do nice
I'd probably
Facebook
get
posts,
slugged.
nice selfies, Mayor's willing to do that. But we don't want to tape this meeting.
There'll be photographs after with the mayor if you'd like.
Dude, I swear, when I'm your senator, I'm going to do community meetings in every congressional district every year, all 9.
Awesome.
It'll be Senator Night Out. I'll be going to the 1st, 2nd, 3rd,
Oh, I
4th,
like the
5th,
ring
6th,
of
7th,
that.
8th, and 9th. Yeah, I will. I'm
Senator's
telling you
Night
right
Out.
now. Every year, by the way. That's
Ready to hit the road, John?
54 public meetings
Get him
I'm
a top
committing
hat
to.
and a cane.
2-hour meetings.
Wow. Breaking news.
Senator about town.
Senator B. Yes.
That's nice.
When Tom McDermott becomes senator, there will be Senator's Night Out across Indiana. All 9 districts.
I'm committing to 54 public meetings
Whoa.
in my 6-year term. I'm going to do one meeting for 2 hours in each congressional district every year.
At least once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is 9 more than he does.
That is true.
Open meetings,
Yeah.
right? Where you don't like me, you could show up and say
Real town hall meetings.
real town hall meetings where Republicans and Democrats are allowed to speak.
Whoa.
Where you can ask
No
questions.
way.
What? What?
And you could tape it. You could use your phone and tape me.
So I can say something like, we're videotaping tonight.
We decided anybody could tape because it's America, right?
You are promising way too much, man.
That's so easy,
I
by
mean,
the way.
reel it
excited.
in.
That is 108 hours of public meetings I'm committed over 6 years,
Wow.
right?
I love it.
I agree. That's like, it's a no-brainer. What is the matter with this guy? He's so special, he doesn't have to hold town hall meetings.
He thinks Hoosiers are
He's
done.
like this. He's like this. I, Todd Young, I'm your U.S. Senator, and I'll never talk to Hoosiers again. That's what he was thinking when he took over as senator. I'm committing every year.
This is my ticket
congressional.
out.
What's that?
My ticket out.
I don't ever have to talk to Hoosiers again, was Todd Young's thought.
I'm a Republican in Indiana. I'll
Imagine
win.
that. My ticket out is to represent you in Senate, but I'm not.
Let's do some ads, come back and talk about that Senate race.
All right, let's go. Byway Brewing. Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outside patio. Our brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, or corporate parties. We are conveniently located just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu. For more information, check out bywaybrewing.beer. That's Byway, B-Y-W-A-Y, brewing, B-R-E-W-I-N-G.B-E-E-R.
I love that.
Is that with an exclamation point or just .beer?
Oh, good question. I think no
It says
exclamation.
.beer. Okay.
Bywaybrewing.beer. The Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, serving all your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Prestmer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses in all over Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103, the Ron J. Prestmer Insurance Agency.
Oh, it's my turn. Cantrell and Cantrell Attorneys at Law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give us a call and schedule your consultation today with somebody who is in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife Kristen make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Cantrell and Cantrell, Attorneys at Law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law?
That should be extra.
Right?
That should be an extra cost.
You
There you
just
go.
created their jingle.
I just created their jingle.
That's
Right.
money.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon
That sounds-
is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
Wow.
Let's just come out of
Lindsay's,
the ad. Thank you to our sponsors, by the way.
Yeah, thank you to our sponsors. Lindsay's like, check your phone.
Right, yeah, I was like, oh my God, what the hell? I was
I know.
nervous.
I'm like, what the hell?
I got nervous.
Yeah, I got family all over the place
Right.
right now. And I'm like, what? And she goes, I have to leave early.
No, she said, I totally forgot. I have to leave at 8:15. That was the message to us
8:16.
all. That was the message.
Right.
I was like, what? So
Right.
anyway, we were Lindsay-less.
Notorious LMP is gone.
Is notoriously gone.
You can tell
She's
this is
out.
a professional production.
Yeah,
We're all
man.
committed. We're here for the full
It's
hour.
like, I'm here for about 20 minutes.
I'll give you
I
guys
gotta run.
I'll give you guys what I can give. That's all I could give.
When did that
That
text
was so
come through?
classic.
At 7:53 a.m. We're in the middle of the pod. She
Right.
texted
Like I'm
that.
checking my text. I'm doing business over here. I'm making magic, Lindsay, on the air right
Here's what
now.
it says.
You know?
Totally forgot to mention that I have to leave early at 8:15.
Sorry.
Just
Sorry to
today.
interrupt.
Just today.
All right,
All right.
Notorious LMP.
See you, Linz.
She's out.
All right. So there was an article, political scientist Andy Downs, professor emeritus at the Mike Downs Center for Indiana Politics at Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Kevin, could you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, absolutely. This was interesting. First of all, I wonder if Andy Downs is somehow related to Mike Downs, but
Not
maybe
sure.
that's for another discussion. Andy Downs had this really interesting article, and I think it just hit right kind of when we felt like something was happening anyway. And it said what he said was, "Hey, don't take the Senate race for granted." He said there's a lot of other things at play. In fact, one of the things I loved he said was McDermott's a proven vote getter, and you can't ignore him. Todd Young, who's a pretty conservative member of Congress, has said some things, done some things that might turn off some of the more further right voters of the Republican Party. In Indiana, he said things are certainly exciting and dynamic, and some of those factors will be at play here in Indiana. At this point, I'm not so sure they're going to change the outcome of any elections, but you can't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. He also called him a surprise winner, Todd Young, a surprise winner in 2016 over Bai. So I thought
think
that was
that's
interesting.
accurate.
I do too, because I mean,
I think most people at the time in 2016 turned out to be a train wreck for the Democratic Party.
yeah, I mean, no one knew Trump was
starting
going
from the
to.
top. I mean,
Absolutely.
with Hillary Clinton and what ended up being a disaster on election day. Disastrous campaign, quite frankly. No offense to her, but it was just wrong person at the wrong time, and it was sort of forced upon America. And I don't think America appreciated that. And at the same time, they had Donald Trump, who was changing all the rules, and so Evan Bayh was sort of caught in that same mold, in my opinion.
Yeah, kind of. He was like the old standard,
Right. And,
Right.
he was, a legend in Indiana politics for so long. And I think he sort of got lumped in with Hillary Clinton. And Todd Young was definitely different at the time. And Todd Young was new face, a Marine. And he beat Evan Bayh, which nobody expected. But then again, not many people expected Donald Trump to become president.
That's right.
Right,
it was
John?
it was
Did
one of
you,
those
John?
years.
I was reading the article. What did you say?
Did you expect Donald Trump to win that in 2016? Or?
I did.
Did you really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not.
I did not.
I was
either.
caught off guard.
I remember I was at poker club 2 weeks before the election, and that grab him by the that thing dropped. That was the October surprise. I was like, oh no, this might be over. I don't think he's gonna win this.
Should have been over.
Yeah. So, but I think but since that time, what's Todd Young done?
Well,
Ignored Hoosiers.
Yeah. Well, this sort of gets into. So I read this article and it reminds me, and I'm sort of going a different place with my speeches, and I sort of want to tell you guys why I think I'm going to win. Okay.
Yes.
But in the speech, it's more. My job is to get to 51%. Obviously, I'd like more than that.
Yeah,
But my job is to get to 51%.
Let me ask you before, just real quick about that article. Do you feel something? Like, are you feeling like a different energy? Because you're around the state.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to tell you, like, I absolutely do. I feel like we have momentum. I feel like my campaign donations are picking up. I feel like the people that are on board big time. And that's sort of where, when I'm talking about my speech, I think this is going to pretty much be one of my big speech topics from here on out is my job as a candidate is to get 51% to win. And I want to win. I'm not in this to finish close. I'm not in this to get blown out. I'm in it to win it. And then I'm hoping that I'm doing such a good job at the top that I carry the ticket with me, that, you know, the great ladies that I'm running with statewide are also going to be victors, all three of them. And as far as the state senators and the state reps and the Congress people in each of the congressional districts, I want to be a wind at their back. So why do I think that I'm going to be positively received on Election Day? Why do I think I'm going to get 51% of the vote? All right. First off, a year ago, Kevin and John, if you would have told me, first off, that the Democratic Party would be united behind me, I'd have been shocked. Because a year ago, keep in mind, I just got done running for U.S. Congress the year before.
Right.
And one of the biggest negatives against me in that race was, and I was being attacked by progressives on the left as too moderate. And quite frankly, I couldn't get progressive support when I ran for Congress. And I didn't think I was fair personally, and it was frustrating. But I was just being honest about who I was politically. I view myself moderate, especially when it comes to fiscal matters. You know how I run the city. You both
absolutely.
do. I run it like it's a business, and you know, I run it like I'm running this business, and my job is to do the best deal for the city, and that's always how I've run it. So I consider myself like Evan Bayh in that regard, like fiscal conservative. When he was governor, he was known for that, right? So basically, here I am a year later. The party's united behind my candidacy.
Progressives too.
Everybody. One of my favorite Twitter follows is Indiana Progressives.
They're great.
They're the best. They did like 10,000. They have like 10,000 followers. Indiana Progressives, follow them. They're biting. I don't know who it is.
It's like an army or something. They're really good.
They're really good. It's brutal.
You want them on your side.
Oh yeah, I'm glad they're on my side. I'm glad I'm not against them.
Glad I'm not.
No,
Todd Young.
dude. Indiana Progressives
Right.
is they're brutal. Like they come out with some biting stuff
Really
and stuff that you could do anonymously that you probably wouldn't want to put on your own personal feed. But,
Sure.
Yeah. So I retweet a lot of their stuff, but some of them I can't touch because it's like, wow, that's good. But so basically, first point why I think I'm going to get there is Democrats are united behind me. Okay. Second point, I need to get to 51%, and Todd Young confirmed 3 justices to the Supreme Court that overturned Roe versus Wade. That's half the population last time I checked. And quite frankly, I'm not naive enough to think that all women feel the same way about reproductive rights, but I bet you 2/3 of them plus are upset at the way they've been treated by the U.S. Supreme Court, upset at people like Todd Young for confirming 3 of the justices that overturned Roe versus Wade, and are ready to look at a Democratic candidate. And a lot of these 2/3 women are probably voted Republican in the past, and they're going to change their votes based on this one issue. So women. And not only that, all these new women that are going to be showing up to vote on November 8th, like they did in Kansas, like they did in New York, they're going to do it in Indiana, guys. It's coming. So the blue wave is coming. Women are going to be voting in massive numbers, and they're going to be voting for me.
I think that is and even Andy Downs in that article talked about that this is the wild card that people didn't expect.
That's right.
You know?
This is the biggest issue in the race. And I'm 100% behind women in this cause, and I'm getting marching orders from women that said, we know you're a man, and when you get to the U.S. Senate, we're going to propel you to victory. This is what women are saying to me, and I get the message. When you get there, you better kick ass for us. And I said to the women, I got the marching orders, and I'm going to kick ass for you. You know, I'm going to go into the U.S. Senate, and I'm going to fight for women. And I know how I got there. I got there because of women. I didn't get there, the women are going to get me there, and I'm going to fight for you from the U.S. Senate. I promise.
And you've always said you're 100% pro-woman, 100% pro-choice.
That's
and
right.
You've got a great, I love it when you're on the campaign trail and you talk about your story growing up. I mean, you were raised by a single mom.
That's right.
You had sisters. I mean, you have daughters. I mean, you have a daughter. I mean,
and a wife.
Yeah, and a wife. I mean, you're very, very, I just know how you are just because I know you, and I know you're serious about when you say that.
Women are important to me. If you look at my administration, I have women in major positions of power, always have. It's becoming, It's become a lot better lately with a lot of people. If you look at my administration, going back to the beginning, I've always had women in positions of power. Third reason, unions. The working men and women of Indiana are frustrated with our U.S. senators and our state and our Congress people that are going to Washington, D.C. and turning $8 billion down. We only had, out of the 11 representatives we send to Washington, D.C., only two of them, Frank Mervan, congressman from the 1st, and Andre Carson, congressman from the 7th, only two of them voted to bring $8 billion back to Indiana. Money for cleaner air, cleaner water, for our schools, for our governments, for our roads and our bridges and our broadband connections. And 9 out of 11 said, no, we don't want to bring the money home. Unions are pissed about that. And I keep on hammering it every time I talk to the working men and women of Indiana.
I mean, thanks to that bill, unions are going to be employed full force for a decade.
At least.
You know?
Right.
I mean, I just don't understand how people... I mean, Todd Young voted against that. Think about that, folks. He voted against bringing money home. Why? Because he wants to be partisan. And that's not what we want in our elected officials, in my opinion.
I think Richard Lugar, a Republican senator, would have voted to bring the money back to Indiana. Okay, John McCain, the Republican senator from Arizona, would have voted to bring the money back to Arizona. Right?
I think if it was a Republican bill, right, go ahead.
Dude,
yeah,
I think honestly, it shouldn't matter what goddamn bill it is.
That's
it doesn't matter who floats it.
If it was
you
a
have a chance to
president, Evan Bayh would have voted for it.
Dude, I would have voted. If you're not smart enough to vote for bringing billions of dollars of our own money from Washington, D.C. back to Indiana, you don't deserve to represent the whole state. That's what we need from Washington, D.C. That's what we need from our elected representatives. Not to go there and play freaking games like Todd Young wants to play games. We don't need games. America needs leaders and actors right now. Bring the money home. So unions, another reason I'm going to win. Veterans. Todd Young, himself a veteran, voted 2 times against expanding the VA benefits to cover our Iraqi and Afghanistan veterans that were exposed to toxic burn pits. That is disgraceful. You can't be a veteran, call yourself a Marine hundreds of times in your campaign ads, and then vote against veterans 2 times, Todd. Now, granted, I'm going to give you, Todd ultimately came around and voted for the bill.
You just said it, though, playing games.
Playing games.
With
veterans' health
benefits who had to sleep on the Capitol steps because they were concerned about their own health benefits.
We got Jon Stewart had to get involved.
Yeah.
And shame the senators, the Republicans. And by the way, the first time the bill came up, Todd was only one of 12 senators that voted against it. The first time he voted against it. He voted against it again, and he ultimately voted to pass the bill because he was taking so much shit. I mean, you're like, and this is a guy that used the fact that he was a veteran. He says it every chance he gets. I'm a veteran. I'm a Marine. Then act like it, Todd, because we were taught leadership and to respect each other and to be, brothers in arms, not to screw each other over when you get to Washington, D.C. Veterans.
I agree with that.
Another reason, people that are diabetic. I'm going to hit this one hard. Think about it. If you have high blood sugar and are diabetic, Todd Young had the opportunity to cap the cost of insulin for everybody at $35 a vial, and he voted against it. So basically right now, if you have private health insurance or no insurance at all, if you're on Medicare, you're capped at $35, right? If you have private health insurance, it could be 3 times as high. Todd Young had a chance to vote with it, to cap that, and he voted against it.
It seems like a no-brainer, but it goes back to what you said again, playing games.
And by the way, listen to Dr. Foray, he said Indiana is the 6th highest rate of diabetes in America right now.
So it's something that hits Hoosiers hard.
That's a bipartisan issue, too.
Yeah.
This is Republicans and Democrats alike have diabetes.
Right.
And Todd Young voted against helping you and capping the cost of insulin. Why did he do that? Could have been significant donations from the pharmaceutical industry. Significant, like millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry. Does that have an effect on it? I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I would have voted to cap the cost of insulin if I was your senator.
Seems like a no-brainer.
In this 6th highest state with diabetes. And last but not least, the last reason is people that use cannabis. That's another bipartisan issue. Republicans and Democrats alike use cannabis. Republicans and Democrats alike are thrown in jail over the use of cannabis. And it's time for it to come to an end. It's time for us to make money off it. It's time for us to stop spending money on enforcement and putting people in prison over it. It's time to create new economic development and jobs and investment and legalize cannabis. And by the way, much like the cigarette industry, even though our neighbor Illinois sells cannabis, if we sold cannabis in Indiana, we would have such low taxes that people, just for the same reason that Illinois residents drive to Indiana for lower taxes for cigarettes and gas, they would drive to Indiana to get our weed as well, because it would be such a low tax rate compared to what they're paying. They would drive here to get their cannabis and they would drive home. So the fact is, because of those 6 reasons, Democrats being united, women, unions, veterans, diabetics, and cannabis users. That's my ticket to victory. I'm going to
I
get
love it.
51% of the vote because of those
I think you're
6
going to
reasons.
get more.
I think I'm going to get more too, but my job is to get to 50% plus 1 and to chill. And then,
And
everything
it's all
after that's
gravy.
gravy, right? But that's the reason I'm going to win on November 8th, 2022.
And I think Todd Young is hoping for complacency.
Todd Young wants to bore you. Todd Young wants to bury you in ads that are funded by special interests, and he will. He's going to bury me in ads that are paid for with blood money. Like half the money he has, he raised through the National Rifle Association and their cronies, right? Pharmaceutical industry, the gas companies, the utilities, all these big
Pharmaceutical
businesses.
industry who happens to make insulin, stuff
Right,
like that.
yeah. So,
It's ludicrous.
I don't know. John, what do you think? That's basically my new speech.
It's almost. I think you did a great job. It's almost like he doesn't want to win. When I'm
wants to
listening, no, hold on. When I'm listening to who he's pissed off, and then add to it his recent bipartisan gun control package he voted for. That's going to piss off.
That's great.
A lot of his voters too. It's almost like he doesn't want to win. He's just pissing everybody off.
Well, how about this? Everything that Todd Young criticizes that Joe Biden does is inflationary. And then Todd Young passes the CHIPS Act and gets credit for that, which, by the way, I would have voted for also.
Absolutely.
Because it gives America an advantage in building microchips that are important, obviously, for the future of our country. It's to me, it's much like the steel industry, that we need to supplement this industry so that it thrives in America. It's vital to national defense. So Todd Young proposes this. It's totally inflationary. It gives billions of dollars to big private businesses, right? But he's like very proud of that. That's not inflationary.
Right.
Biden's student debt relief for the poorest of the poor Americans, that's inflationary. But me giving money to wealthy chip manufacturers, not inflationary. Full of shit, Todd. You're full of shit. That's the problem. It's like, just be consistent. If you're against government handouts, just be consistent.
He's talking out both sides of his mouth.
Right. Don't justify your type of inflation as good inflation, but Biden's type of inflation is bad inflation. That's bullshit. That's why you're going to lose on November 8th. And John, that's a great point you bring up. So I brought up 6 points why I think I'm going to win, and that's not even counting the Republicans he's pissed off.
Exactly.
By the way, Republicans, while you're listening, you realize that Todd Young added $11 trillion to the national debt? $11 trillion. This is a conservative that voted for half of our national debt. He voted yes on. Yeah. Suddenly he's a deficit hawk.
Right.
Anti-inflationary.
Mm-hmm.
$11 trillion, Todd. That's 11 trillion reasons for Republicans to vote for the Libertarian.
You know what? Now I know why you're Todd Crusher. I just figured it out.
Thank you.
It's making all the sense in the world.
Todd Crusher.
I loved it. It's good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
That's my new speech. So you heard it here. I'm just testing it out. I'm going to try it out tomorrow. I have a speech on the road tomorrow. I'm going to try it out. That's basically
You're
my
heard it here
speech.
first.
That's going to be my backbone. You guys let me work out the kinks. So
Appreciate it. Wrap us up.
Okay. Appreciate everybody coming in here. Notorious LMP, we appreciate the valuable minutes that you gave to our show, and then jammed right immediately after. We appreciate that. First time that's ever happened in 150 plus episodes. Jay Vez, great to see you. Thanks for all the hard work and for meaningful insight from a Republican perspective. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Kevin Chandler, appreciate you.
Yes.
And my junior advisor.
You're welcome.
And coming from me, Tom McDermott, the candidate for U.S. Senate, and the locomotive on LOCPOD.
And the Todd Crusher.
And the Todd Crusher. Thanks for listening to Season 7, Episode 4. We will be back on Friday with another amazing show. Thanks, everybody, for listening to LOCPOD. We are out. Take care.